Hello everyone, I welcome to your channel Geeks for Geeks, and so today we'll be starting our sixth session. Let's dive into CP. So the question that we'll be discussing today is LRU cache. I hope you would have heard it frequently in your operating systems. So today we'll try to implement it once, and I'll just give you a brief idea how LRU is how LRU actually works, and then we'll go how we can implement it, right, using our data structures. So let's read the question. So the task is to design and implement methods of LRU cache. The class has two methods, get and set, which are defined as follows, where get x returns the value of key x if key exists in the cache, otherwise it returns -1, and set xy, it inserts the value if key x is not already present. If cache reaches its capacity, it should invalidate the least recently used item before inserting the new element. And in the constructor of the class, the size of the cache should be initialized. So they are basically explaining the functionality of LRU cache here and the class that we are supposed to implement. Now if we look at the example, it's given that there are two frames and there are two queries. So when set 1 2 is called, so corresponding to 1 2 key is set, and on get 1 the value corresponding to key 1 would be returned, which is 2. So now your task is to complete the provided functions get and set, and the expected time complexity for both get and set is constant time. So we need to modify our code in such a way that we get and set operations implemented in order of one time, that is constant time, and expected auxiliary space both O of 1 and O of both for get and set a constant space, though you can use extra space for cache storage and implementation purposes. And our constraints are 10 power 3, which is valid, right? So okay, so I'll just give you a brief idea how cache is implemented first. So let's assume these are the page references that have been given, and there are total three page frames in our cache. So how it would work is, so this is 1, so initially our frame is empty, so 1 would be inserted here, then comes 2, so 2 would be inserted here, then comes 3 would be inserted here. When it comes to 4, so now the cache has already reached its capacity, so it will check like which is the least recently accessed one. So here 1 is the least one, so it will be replaced by 4. Then coming on to 1, again 2 is the least recently accessed one, so it will be replaced by this. Then again 3 will be replaced by 2. Then coming on to 5, so 5 would be here, and when we come on to 1, it's already present, 2 is also already present. Then we come on to 3, again 5 is the one. If you consider amongst these 3, 5 is the one which was least recently accessed, so this 5 would be replaced by 3. Then 4, 1 would be replaced by 4, and then coming on to 5, so again 2 would be replaced by 5. So this is the basic functionality of LRU cache, right? So now we'll think like how we can implement it. This is the general functioning of LRU cache. So how will we implement it using our data structures is, so just a moment. Yeah, so surely we need some data structure which can keep the record, like which is the least recent one and which is the most recent one. So what we do is we maintain a queue where our front, right, it would contain the most recently accessed elements, and its back would maintain the least recently accessed elements, right? Now see, what will happen is when I try to insert 1, so 1 would be inserted here. Then coming on to 2, again the most recent one is 2 amongst 1 and 2, so it will be inserted in the front. Then coming on to 3, so again 3 would be inserted here. Now when I come on to 4, so now see, frame capacity was 3, so we've already reached it. So now we need to remove the element, right? So what we can do is we can easily access the least recent one from the ending side, right, from the back side. So we'll remove this from here and we'll insert 4 here. I hope this is clear, because now 4 is the most recently accessed one, so we'll push it in the front and we'll remove an element from the back, because the last element denotes the least recent accessed ones, right? Now when I come on to 1, so now the element accessed one would be 1, right? So now again the cache capacity is full, so least recently one would be at the back, so we pop from the back and we insert an element at the front. So this is the one inserting at the front. So now the element comes 2, right? So now if you look at this, see there is one more thing. Now when I'm looking for 2, right, there might be a possibility that 2 is already present here. So if you try to iterate over entire this, then it would take order of n, but it's been said that we need to implement get and set in order of 1 time. So what we can do is we can maintain a map separately where we'll be storing each of the element, right? Now in this case, the elements that will be present in my map would be 1, 4 and 3. Now corresponding to each, we can keep an iterator which will be pointing to the position of this element in the list, so that we can erase it in constant time, right? I'll explain you this again, like how we are going to do this. See, we'll start from the top. I hope you get the idea why we are trying to do this. So yeah, so initially our map would be empty and also our queue would be empty. So whenever 1 is inserted, right, so let's assume this is our map and this is my queue. So my most recent one would be at this side and my least recent one would be at this side. So in the map, see, 1 is inserted, so 1 would be inserted in the queue, and in my map a pointer corresponding to 1 would be inserted. Let's call it as ampersand of 1. Okay, so now again 2 is inserted, so 2 is the most recent one, so in my map 2 and a iterator, you can say, corresponding to 2 will be inserted. So now coming on to 3, so now 3 will be inserted here, and again a pointer pointing to 3 would be inserted here. Now when it comes on to 4, right, it will first check whether it's already present. See, now to check the presence of 4, we can check in the map, and I got to know that it's not present in the map, so that means I need to insert it in the queue. Now when I try to insert it in the queue, it already has reached the maximum capacity, which is 3, right? So we need to remove the element from the back, because my back points the least recent accessed element. So 1 would be removed from the queue and it will be invalidated from the map as well. So now 4 would be inserted here, and again 4 would be inserted here, where now in map corresponding to 4, this address where 4 has been stored in the queue will be stored here. I hope this thing is clear to you. Again, okay, we'll discuss it further again. So now when 1 is being accessed, so I'll search it in the map whether it's present or not. See, here it's not present and I got to know it in order of 1 time. So now again I'll have to remove an element since already maximum capacity has been reached. So we'll remove 2 from here, and again it will be invalidated from the map, and 1 would be inserted here because now 1 is the most recent accessed one. So again 1 would be inserted and this new address will be stored here. Now next comes 2, right? So now what will happen is, again we'll search whether 2 is present in our map. No, it's not. So again 2 will be the least recent one, which is 3, it will be removed from the list and from the map as well, and again 2 will be inserted here in the queue, and in map also corresponding to 2, its address would be stored for this cell. Next comes the value 5. Now when I try to search for 5, again 5 is not present in my map, so and my cache is already full, so I need to remove the least recent one. So I remove 4 from here and also invalidate 4 from here. So now 5 would be inserted here in the queue, and also 5 would be inserted here in the map, right? Now when I come on to 1, now for 1 I'll check in my map whether 1 is present. Yes, it's present. So what will it be doing? Like, yes, it knows it's already present, but now it has to be pushed into the front, right? So what will happen is, it will take the address from here, right, and it will reach here, it will erase it from the queue in O of 1 time, and it will push it in the front, and this new address will be updated in the map. So it will have the new address, let's call it 1 star. Alright, so yeah, now my 1 has been successfully inserted. Then comes the value 2. So now if I look in this, I know that 2 is already present in my cache, but now it is the most recent one. So I need to push it into the front. See, now if we didn't had used this map, right? So I had to move through the entire queue and find out whether 2 is present or not. So it would have taken order of n, where n is the number of the page frames, and also removing it. I didn't know the address, so I had to iterate it, right? So again, it would have taken order of n. So if you are storing the address, this would be done in O of 1 time. Using a map, I will get to know that yes, 2 is present, and corresponding to 2, I'll get the address of it. So once I get the address of this pointer, I can remove it and push it into the front, and in the map I'll update the new address. Let's call it as 2 star. I hope this thing is clear to you now. Then next value 3 is pushed into it. When 3 is to be inserted, I'll check whether 3 is present in the map. No, it's not. So what it will do is, it will remove 5 from here and it will invalidate 5 from here as well. See, now you can notice that every time the back always denotes the element which has been least recently accessed. So we can easily remove the element from the back side, right? So now 5 is removed from here and it's invalidated, and again 3 is inserted into the queue and the new address of 3 is inserted into the map. Next, again, if I look for 4, now 4 is not present in the map, right? So now 4 would be inserted. I'll continue the queue here. So firstly, this least recent accessed one, that is 1 is removed from here and it's invalidated from map as well, and 4 is inserted here and 4 is inserted in the map corresponding to its new address, right? Next, again 5 is pushed in here. Sorry, it's already reached the capacity here, so again we'll be removing the least accessed one, which is 2. So it's removed. 4 is inserted here and 5 is now inserted here and its new address is also inserted in the map. So I hope this basic idea is clear to you. Every time our set operation, right, it's taking okay, we didn't discuss the operations now. Now the question that has been given to us, it's just a bit modification of this. Instead of just accessing these, I need to return the value for it as well. So what we can do is, we can maintain other map as well, where corresponding to each key I'll be storing a value also. Rest everything remains the same. So I hope the basic dry run is clear to you. I'll just go towards the implementation, how this implementation is going on, and if you have any doubts you can post it in the comments and I'll look back at them and try to resolve them. So yeah, so now we'll start it. See, it's given that, okay, so what we'll do is, we'll maintain a few data structures to maintain these things. So firstly, I'll be maintaining a list, let's call it as DQ, okay, and then again I'll be maintaining an unordered map where my first would be the key and my other would be the iterator, which will be pointing to the each element, right? So let's call it as map of iterators, all right. Then again I'll create an unordered map where my key would be the integer and corresponding to it again I'll be storing the value for it. So let's call it as np.val, right? So these 3 data structures we'll be maintaining, and yeah, it will be running for multiple test cases. So okay, yeah, I need to maintain a capacity as well. So let's call it as capacity, right? So it will store the yeah, so it's like, it's given in the question that in the constructor of a class the size of the cache should be initialized. So what we'll do is, we'll clear our data structure since it will be running for multiple test cases. So we'll be clearing out them first here, and also our third data structure, and also now we'll initialize our capacity, which is equal to cap. So yeah, so we've initialized the capacity here. Now we'll implement our get method. So how get is going to do is, whenever we get, what we need to do is firstly we need to check whether it's present or not, right? If it's present, then we'll push it into the front, right? And if it's not, we'll simply return -1, right? So what we'll do is first we'll check whether in the map this key okay, so this is the case when it's already present in the map, and if it's not, we simply return -1, right? And if it does, then what we'll do is we'll first find out the iterator to it. Let's call it as IT, my map of IT key. This will give me the iterator, that is where it's present in the map, and I'll update the queue, right? Because what I need to do is I need to push it into the front, right? I'll write it as update list. So in the update list, I'll pass on the values. So I'll pass on the iterator and the key also. And once I'm done with this, I'll simply return the value corresponding to key, which has been stored in my mp.val. Alright, so now we'll implement the method that we just called, that is the implement list. So in the update list, we'll get an iterator, and also a key here, right? So what we need to do in update is, firstly I need to erase it if the element is already present in the mid, right? So I need to erase it, and then what I'll do is I'll just push it into the front, right? Because now it's the most recent accessed one. So in the front, I'll push the key, and I'll have to update. So I'll have to update in the map. So it will be the front, because now my element has been inserted at the front. I hope this update list is clear to you. If it's not, I'll explain again. So it will be begin. So I'll just explain the get method once again. So in get method, what we are trying to do is, first we'll find it in the map, and if it's present in the map, right? So we'll find the iterator to it where it's present in the list, and then we'll update the list. So in the list, if it's present, we'll erase it, right? And we'll insert it in the queue at the front, right? Because now it's the most recent accessed one. And also I need to update the new address, right? So in map of IT, for corresponding to key, we'll update the begin value. So I hope this part is clear to you. Now we'll go for, we'll declare it as static since it's been called there. Okay, so now we'll be going for the set method. So in set method, we'll check whether the value that we are going to set, it's already present or not. We'll find the key here, and if it's equal to the end, that means this means that it's not present, right? Now we'll have to insert it. So what we'll do is we'll check whether the list has reached its maximum capacity or not. So we'll check if dq.size, it's equal to the capacity that we set. So if it has reached the maximum capacity, so what we need to do is we'll extract the last element, which will be given by so I've got the last element, and we'll have to remove them from the map, right? So I'll have to remove it from both the maps. This one is from the iterator, and this is from the map, and now we'll pop it from the list. Now once we are done with this, we have already we have emptied it, right? But still we need to push in the new value, right? So what we do is we push it into the front, that is our new key, and we'll update in the map. At key, what we'll do is we'll store, now it's pointing to the first front, so sorry, it will be begin, yeah. So and our value will also be inserted. Sorry, this will be the value which has been given to us. All right, I'll explain once again. We'll just consider the case where it might already be present, right? So again we'll have to, if it's already present, again we'll have to find the iterator where it's already present in the list. And once we are done with this, again we'll have to update the list. We'll have to update the list and bring it in the front, and once we are done with this, we'll update the value, which is the new one. Okay, so yeah, I'll explain the set part once again. See, what happens is we'll get the key and value, right? There might be a case that it's not present. So once we found out that it's not present, that means we need to make space for it in the cache, and we'll check if it has reached the maximum capacity. If it has reached the maximum capacity, then what we do is the last element denotes the least recent accessed one, right? So we extract that element and we remove it from both the maps, and we remove it from the queue as well. So once we are done with this, we'll insert the new element. We'll insert this element, the new key, right? So we'll insert the new key here at the front, and we'll update in the map corresponding to this key. Now the element was inserted into the front, so the new address is to be pushed there. So the beginning of the queue, that is the new address, will be pushed in here, and value corresponding to this key will be pushed in this map. Now the else part considers the case where the value was already present and we are updating it. Like for 1, 2 value was present, and now we are updating 1 to 3, right? So now it will enter in this case, and we need to find out the iterator, that means where it's present in the list, because I need to remove it, right? So what will happen is it will remove, so it will remove it, and it will push again that key into the front. And for the key, now it will again, it has been moved into the to a new position, which is the starting of the queue. So now my map would contain the starting of it, and the new value would be stored in the different map, right? So I'll just try to run the code. Okay. Sorry, it will be the iterator map here. We'll try to submit it. Yeah, so I hope you got the idea, and if you still have any doubts, you can post it and I'll try to resolve them. So meet you guys in the next session. Till then, happy coding.